What's up, Pickleheads? Today we're going to build the ultimate pickleball player using different shots.
Picklehead Podcast.
Austin will call out the shots. We'll each pick our own player. The catch is you cannot use the same player for one of your shots. So if he says forehand drive and I select a certain player, I can't use that player again. So pretty fun, excited to do this podcast. Os, what's the first shot?
The first shot is the serve. So what we should do is just on three, we should just say who we're thinking.
Okay.
Ready? So one, you have it?
Yep.
1, 2, 3,
Fed.
TM. Fed?
You
say
said
Fed?
serve and I was thinking return. So let's do it. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. We're back.
Like, wait, okay.
We're
Fed's got a
battling.
good serve, but I don't know
We're
if
batting
I'm...
1,000. Okay, yes, me for serve. I'm going to go with Picklebar.
Amazing Grace. Okay. So,
And you said Tyson.
yep, got it noted down. Return, 1, 2, 3, Fed.
Fed.
Awesome.
Yeah, gotta go with Fed on the return.
I think Fed, like how we were talking about... No. Okay, we're going to have to start over.
No, we're not. But we have had this conversation before. Fed has a really good all-around game. He hits the ball solid in pretty much every shot that he takes, except he doesn't have that one fire shot where you're like, wow, he's
just
super
solid.
good at that.
He just hits everything good.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, me and Spencer already did this podcast, and it didn't download. It just wouldn't work. So we tried it on my computer, his computer, everything. Anyways, we're rolling through this one because we already know each other's answers.
Yeah, but it's been like a week since we've done it, so I
Yeah.
already changed my first pick. So.
Yeah, you did, because I had to cross out James. He picked James Ignatowicz. So
Yeah.
James, if you're listening, he ditched you.
I'm going to use him for a different shot.
You have a great Sev. All right. Forehand drive. I would put... who did I put between these two? You put Jack. Right?
Yeah, I got Jack Sock on that all day. That's his thing.
Okay. Then I put Thomas. I couldn't remember. I think Thomas Wilson has a fantastic drive as well, and I think his is more consistent than Jack's at the time. I think Jack's will catch up.
Yeah, I think Jack's has a little bit more something on it. Maybe not speed, because Thomas has a ton of speed on his
Yeah.
drive. But I still think Jack has, I don't know, he's really able to whip it and...
With a Lux.
Yeah, with the Lux paddle, so that's intense. So yeah, I'm going with Jack.
Yeah, it's nasty. Best forehand in men's tennis too. So there you go. It's a good answer. Backhand drive. 1, 2, 3. Connor Garnett.
I think we were the same on that
Are
one.
you as well? Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying with him on that.
Obviously, Connor has an insane drive. He just has an insane backhand all around. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to not give like backhand dink to him or backhand speed up or something. But
Yeah, but his backhand is definitely better than his forehand. I would say his best backhand, though, is still the drive.
Yep.
So, yeah.
okay, next one is forehand volley.
Forehand volley. I'm going to go with, because I'm not going to use him on another shot, I don't think. I'm going to go with Matt Wright on the forehand volley.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. I'm going to go with Jack Sock.
Also a good decision.
He was very inconsistent in the last tournament with it. Like, he actually lost with Colin because he hit, 4 in a row in the net, but I still think his forehand, especially his roll, is better than most.
I think he was definitely going for too much, but also him trying to switch paddles.
Yes.
I don't know why he was trying to play with different paddles. It sounds like North Carolina, which is next week, he's going to stick with the same paddle.
Do you
And he
know what
should.
paddle?
I think he's just going to stick with the Lux,
Smart man.
as far as I understand.
Just stick with the Lux and replace it every tournament.
Yeah.
Because
Good
he's
to go.
taking that grid off, that's for sure.
Speaking of that,
He
not
has
to
enough
get
power.
sidetracked here, someone asked Ben Johns lately how often he switches out his paddle.
Okay.
No, it wasn't his paddle, it was his grip. But still, it seemed very excessive to me. He said if conditions are hot, he'll switch out his overgrip every game.
Every game.
He said, but if conditions aren't crazy, like hot and humid like that, still every match he's playing a new overgrip. That seems pretty unnecessary to me.
I can kind of adhere to what he's saying because I feel that way. If I don't have an overgrip that's fresh, I feel like I don't play as well because there's just a slight little bit of movement that goes on and it changes my grip slightly.
Yeah.
But so I can kind of see where he's coming from. But yeah, every game is pretty insane. But if you're Ben Johns, might as well.
Yeah, I guess he could do what he wants.
Yeah, you can afford it.
Seems excessive.
You get free overgrips, you might as well.
Yeah.
Make sure nothing's wrong. What he needs is a Hesicor overgrip, though. I love the Hesicor. Been using that for a while.
I wonder if he's tried it.
Because your overgrip lasts longer with the Hesicor because it just locks your hand into place.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Use code Playbook if you guys want a Hesicor grip. I think you guys get 10% off. Backhand volley. Speaking of Ben, we both put Ben for this.
We gotta go with Ben. He's known for the backhand roll. Nobody does it better than he does. So backhand volley in general, it's still gotta go with him.
And two other players, just really quick, that are super close behind him is DJ Young with his backhand roll.
Yeah,
he can do this thing where he puts it very hard cross court and lands in the kitchen, and so can Hayden Patrick. They can both do that. Their backhands are just.
Hayden's really stepped up his game lately too.
Yeah,
and he's way more consistent. And both those players, if you think about it, DJ and Hayden, really wristy with that shot.
Very.
So they can put it anywhere they want.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah,
they're very elbowy too. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's almost more elbow. Okay. Next one is the forehand dink.
Okay. I'm going with Colin Johns on this one. We've mentioned this before, but nobody got to see it because it didn't work. But some of his dinks, not necessarily dead dinks, but not much pace on his dinks. But what you gain, that's what you lose, and then what you gain is consistency.
Yeah.
If I have Colin Johns on the right side just hitting forehand dinks, he'll miss less than anyone else.
Which is an interesting conversation that was had on Pickleball Effect podcast probably 7 months ago. Downtown Logan Brown commented on one of my videos and said, so what do you think about forehand dink being a setup shot, or do you think it should be more aggressive? And someone answered the comment and said, I think that it should just be a setup shot strictly, which I think there's a lot of truth to that. And then he replied and said, well, what about like women like Anna Bright and Annalie Waters, how they're hitting
heavy
topspin aggressive dinks to set up. It's like, well, yeah, if you can do that, then you should. So I think it comes down to that. Like, Colin doesn't necessarily have super aggressive shots, but he's going to be insanely consistent. And he still sets up Ben, but not as well as Annalie does, I think, with her aggressiveness. And she's so wickedly consistent with it. So if you can be consistent with it, I think just let it go.
And to add to that too, if Colin is hitting forehand dinks and he's not being aggressive with it, that's because Ben is there to be the aggressor. Right. Whereas if Colin was playing with someone else who's not an aggressor, well, then he's going to have to step it up.
Yeah.
On his side.
And he's probably going to not be as consistent.
Yeah. Who did you pick for that one?
I just thought of someone because from the last pod I changed it. Dylan Frazier is who I would definitely pick.
Killer.
Really aggressive and just so it's like a robot is hitting the dink.
Yeah.
Backhand dink. For this, I put James.
Yeah,
and you're probably going to do James now?
I'm putting James Ignatowicz.
He put Riley last time. So, Riley, he loves you. He wanted to let you know. Next is reset.
Real quick, let's talk about why James, just real fast.
Yeah.
James on that left side dinking. I think he started this whole new two-handed topspin phenomenon from the left-hand side, putting a lot of speed and topspin on the ball from the left side, dinking, so that's why James.
Yeah, and it's such a short motion too, and he's getting so much topspin in that short motion, which is awesome. Okay, next one is the reset. And I put Dayescu and I think you put Colin, right?
I already
Oh,
used
wait.
Colin for my. I used Colin for my
That's true, yeah. Forehand dink.
forehand dink, so I switched it to Deescu for the.
Okay. We
What
both put
category is this?
Dayescu. Oh, I put Colin and then I was giving you suggestions in the last one.
Yes, and then I put Deescu.
And I'm going to put Dayescu as well.
He just doesn't. He doesn't miss very often.
Yeah.
He can reset pretty much any ball. So
On the full stretch, and he's like
Yeah.
8 feet
he's
tall.
got a really long reach.
He's one of those freaks that's tall and athletic. You don't get that very often.
Yeah.
Because you get people like Sam Querrey is a really good example where he's just not athletically there. And so it's just doesn't work as well, and he has to put in a lot of extra work.
Yeah.
The fact that he was top in tennis means that he worked his butt off. So overhead.
Because I would consider him like gangly and a
Gangly.
little bit awkward.
What's the word? Lanky.
Yeah,
He's
lanky.
So you're just a little bit slower getting to things. I wouldn't want to play him though.
No, he's really good just compared to the others. He's not progressive.
Exactly. Like Dayescu compared to him is all I'm saying.
Right.
Those are two different breeded people.
Right.
Overhead. You put Thomas. I put Tyler. You originally put Tyler, and then I couldn't use Thomas. But I mean, overhead. I think about Jack Sock and Thomas Wilson.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Thomas, but I mean, shout out. I don't really love his game, but Tyler Loon does have a nice overhead as well. It's just super flat and hard to hit back, but he really smacks the ball.
Yeah,
And
straight
it
flat.
doesn't come up. So
Dude does not hit top spin anything.
yeah,
It's very interesting.
but yeah, Thomas on that one.
Lob. We both put Callan Dawson for this because he's the lob doctor.
Yeah,
Dude has a wicked lob.
basically invented the lob from
Yeah.
the kitchen.
He did.
No one was doing the lob
He
from
did.
the kitchen before him, really.
An aggressive lob, an offensive lob.
Yeah,
Whereas defensive lob, you're back on the baseline trying to stay in the point.
yeah.
Dude's wicked. Honorable mention. Anybody for that? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a few.
You know who has a pretty good lob actually is Matt Wright.
Matt Wright has a great lob. Yeah, he was
On that
on the
backhand
mention
side.
last pod. Dylan Frazier doesn't do it very often, but he can hit a good lob there.
Yeah, that's true.
And actually, Thomas Wilson has been hitting a few
Has
lobs
he?
from there, but
Oh.
definitely not as consistent. And then AJ
AJ.
Kohler is one too, not as consistent, but yeah.
It'll be random, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Counter.
Counter.
You put J-Dub and I put Travis Rettenmeyer.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with J Dub all day.
I think anybody would put
Mr.
J-Dub.
Hands, I like
I'll
it.
put Travis specifically backhand counter.
But also with that counter, I would consider Matt Wright if I hadn't already used him for something else because yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
His backhand
old,
counter.
but his counter is
Unbelievable. It's, if you watch his motion in slow-mo, that ball should not go in.
nasty. Yeah,
It makes no sense that it goes in. Like, it's a full out motion all the way through. His paddle tip faces his opponents at the end.
and it's
His timing
fast.
is impeccable.
Yeah.
Dude's impressive. ATP.
This is a category that we didn't do, so I got to think about that for a second. But someone who can hit ATPs in consistently. I'm thinking of two people, actually. But Juscelin de Villiers. So Jay is one. I think he can consistently hit ATPs from either side.
Yeah.
Pablo can hit ATPs when they're given to him. Who else was I thinking of? I'm just gonna go with Jay on that one
I think that's a good one.
as far as ATPs go.
I would go with Jay for Ernie. Just
Oh,
skipping ahead.
Yeah, that one's coming up too.
I'm going to go with Jay for Ernie. I'm trying to think who else is really good at Ernie's. What's nice about this game is that we're not saying Ben for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't. Because otherwise I'd put Ben.
Okay, so I'll go, since I haven't used him yet, I'll use Tyler Loom for the Ernie.
That's a good point.
So I think of Deckel for the Ernie. Tyler and Deckel both do it too much and they get caught a little bit. But when they do hit Ernies, they're pretty nasty.
Yes.
And Deckel can Ernie from the middle of the net, pretty much.
Yeah.
So nothing high over there. But yeah, I'll go with Tyler Loon for the Ernie.
My friend Justin, he's friends with Tyler, and for whatever reason, Justin, I think he's 5'7", so he's a pretty short guy, really, really strong, and can just jump out of...
Oh yeah, I know Justin.
He can jump out of town. It's the craziest thing.
He loves hitting an Ernie.
And somehow he can reach Ernie's, it feels like, from the middle of the court.
Yeah.
And he'll land, and he's like 3 feet out of the kitchen, too. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Does not even make sense.
It's an athletic move for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was a long jumper, by the way. In case you guys are interested in my friend Justin. Just keep bringing him up.
Oh, that's why.
ATP, did I say anybody?
No, I picked Jay.
ATP, I'm going to go with who's a pro.
I mean, there's Pat Smith you could use for that. There's Christian
I'd use Pat for
Alshon you
something
could use.
I'd use him for something else.
I'm just trying to think ATP wise. You haven't used Hayden for anything. He's consistently going to make the ATP if it's given to him.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
There you go.
Speed up. There's a nasty speed up is Riley Newman.
So
Because he can
just
do it
an
on
initial speed up.
He can do it on backhand and forehand side, so I gotta go with Riley for this one.
Ooh, okay.
And he can do it from that far off the ground.
Speed up, speed up. Have I used Dylan for anything?
No.
I'm going to use Dylan for that. I love his speed up from the right side.
It's a really short speed up.
It's really unconventional. Yeah, it looks just like his dink. I'm guessing he kind of patterned that after Colin Johns a little bit. But whether it's off the bounce or out of the air, it's really consistent, looks the same, and pretty accurate. So I'll go with Dylan.
Christian? Sorry, tweener? Christian.
Yeah, gotta go with Christian for the tweener.
Yeah, I think if you go with someone else, you're Malleol.
Yeah,
Or you just hate him,
yeah, or you dislike the guy.
which a lot of people do.
I like the guy.
I like him.
He's a good player. He works really hard at it. You can tell he really gives it a lot.
Mhm.
So I don't particularly like the tweener as a shot, but he's the one I would pick to hit it if I had to.
My wife's leaving with the truck. Not sure where she's going. Okay.
She's never coming back either. Oh my God.
She has all the bags.
She's giving you the bird too. Out the way. What did you do?
You never know. You never know with women. Women. Speaking of women, now we're going to do the women if we think we have time.
Let's save that for next podcast.
Okay, that's good. Even though we have mics, the pencil is the mic. So we'll save that for next podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to end this right now so that we can move on.
Wait, let us know who your picks would be in the comments below.
Yes, we'd love to hear it. And let us know who you think's picks are better, who you think would be the better Ultimate Pro. Put Austin for me and Spencer for that guy right there.
So just put Spencer.
Basically. Peace.
Later.